Yo, yo, yo. How you living? How you feeling? How you doing? What's popping? Brand new whip just hopped in. Ooh, just joshing. I can pass that. Ooh. Alex feeling it. Okay. Anyway, Brandon looks just like the man who made that song, Jack Harlow, by the way, in case anybody was curious. I just thought about this. I think it was his hair. It's your hair. I don't know if you guys knew who that is, obviously, but NFC West, wide receivers, part three of this division. We're going to dive into some interesting topics today, obviously, with the wide receivers that are in this division. It's beautiful.
I mean, really, it goes down to like eight or nine.
The cutoff is
The way
right
it was.
about number 8 there for me on your list.
As far as rostering or what? Wide receiver
I
two?
was just making fun of Van Jefferson to Brandon. That's all I've done.
Oh, word.
I like
We're going to cut to the intro after we tell you guys to subscribe, share, like, and comment, and stay for the entire video and the end of the video because we got a little end screen that we got, like, beautiful and popping, and you love us, we love you. Cut to the intro, I guess, after you pull out some scissors.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
All right, we're back. Alex just shifted his rankings drastically. He took Van Jefferson from 10. He took Jefferson from 10 down to 14.
he was at 11. I was telling Brandon this. I was trashed when I did these initial rankings, and I was like, "Well, I want him below Reynolds because I don't like him." And then I'm like, "Why did I rank anyone above the guy?" So
This is true.
I haven't looked at these. Like, I'm pretty sure I moved someone else around on one of these lists earlier when we started. I was not in the right mind when I did this. I was under the influence of substances.
This is a valid excuse, I should say, I suppose.
Lockett that low deserves to be at 5 though.
What about D-Hop? Comments on the Hopkins over in Arizona.
He's done it with every quarterback.
Do we need comments here?
It's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean,
that offense is going to run a fuck ton of plays.
Yeah.
So.
I choose to think Hopkins has done it before with trash quarterbacks.
That he has.
And he's gonna. And I don't understand why people are like, "Oh, D-Hop's lost value," because, I mean, he's lost value since he's been traded. I mean,
yeah,
I don't agree with that.
Has slightly, as for he had top potential where he was.
It does here.
And I think he does here too. But I'm saying now it's a little bit of a question mark, and that's why he's
higher than new in here. It is
true.
I don't think he has wide receiver one, like, in his potential. Obviously, he's talented enough to do that, but I think first year in the system, you shift teams, you shift schemes, you shift time. You just in general with this whole, like I said, I've brought it up multiple times with the whole COVID and whatnot. Like, obviously, it's not going to take that long for him to just learn the playbook itself, but to gain and start getting more, I guess, a larger experience with Kyler Murray. I mean, in the offense itself, I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver one his first year. It's definitely plausible in the next year, but I mean, first year coming right out the gate, it's questionable to me.
If he's healthy, I think it's a distinct possibility.
Can we agree that he's separated himself pretty well against these other wide receivers in this division?
This is a very good division.
Yeah.
It is, but I think he's
but yeah, that's
pretty
separated.
separated.
I think he has, which is why I think
He's one of the only people that have stayed stagnant through all three of our rankings at the top. So, I mean, I guess we'll move on.
Woods
along with Kittle and Drake and Murray.
Well, I'm saying as far as wide receivers in this.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. I guess we'll move forward to number 2, who Brandon has Cooper Kupp, and so does Alex. And I am the outlier here, Tyler Lockett at 2.
4 is some massive drop considering the top 7 guys from this division.
My only disagreement there is who you replaced Kupp with. I would, if I made that choice, it would have been to shift Woods above Kupp and then Metcalf above Kupp.
I was very
I would
close
do
to putting
that
Woods
over
Kupp.
Lockett.
I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. My thing with Kupp is that he has proven to me that he can find the end zone, and I don't really see why that would change. Although Woods is bound to score a few more times this year, because for some reason he just didn't last year.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Very, very, very odd.
Pete Carroll is going to Pete Carroll.
I mean, Brandon, this is what my question kind of lies with you. I mean, first of all, do you think DK Metcalf's more talented than Tyler Lockett?
Define talent.
Yeah, I think
I guess from a fantasy, not necessarily wide receiver talent, because we're not really one to judge about wide receiver talent.
Talent has to be Lockett. But,
yeah.
Lockett's not 6'4".
Yeah.
Like,
physically, it's Metcalf.
As far as fantasy talent, not talent, but I guess, like, I don't know how to question it. But, like, why do you have DK Metcalf above Tyler Lockett, I guess, is the question I was going to ask.
I do, too.
I trust Lockett.
I have weird feelings towards Lockett. Like, this top 5 is like, I could feel very confident in having any of the top 5, like my wide receiver 1, I would say. So, like, it's not that he's super separated. I just think that Metcalf has the bigger ceiling. I think.
But why? Like, what reason?
The physical traits.
Yeah.
Just the physical traits?
And plus
the fact that you can use him in ways that you cannot use Tyler Lockett.
And Lockett's efficiency with Russell Wilson. I mean, you've said it before that efficiency fluctuates.
Yeah.
So who's to say Lockett's going to get those crazy-ass tiptoe touchdown passes that he had last year?
Think of how Lockett's been doing, which is pretty solid. Like, do you think he has an extra gear in him? That's my thing. And keep in mind that I put Lockett over Metcalf, but to me, Metcalf has a higher ceiling. I think he could, if he takes a few steps forward, I think he's better than, like, Lockett at his best, which is admittedly good.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Again, this is coming from someone who ranked Lockett over Metcalf, because I think the floor is much higher.
And I think it helps Lockett pretty significantly that his quarterback is Russell Wilson, and they've been together for however many years. So they have this repertoire that DK Metcalf and what's that point for?
Wilson. Might I also point out that this is one of the first times that Lockett's been good that he has another competent receiver beside him, so that could work in his favor.
Yeah.
Because now teams don't have to be like, oh, we'll just cover that guy.
That's true.
Metcalf is a much more intimidating presence that you might be like, oh, maybe we'll shield the safety over that way because that guy's 6'4", and he's just going to bulldoze our team. And Tyler Lockett's going to sneak in and snatch up all the catches.
And the reason why I'm saying I can condone putting Cooper Kupp at 4, I could see it happening only because of the difference between his beginning half of his year compared to the last half of his year, where Kupp's opportunities shrunk. He was still efficient in the red zone. He still got his touchdowns. His opportunities, his targets shrunk nearly in half, if I recall correctly. And it turned into Robert Woods' show. And I think this is partially because they started playing more 12 personnel sets, which is 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. And that's when Higbee and Everett had their successes. There was metrics out showing Cooper Kupp's success, and he did not fare well outside of the slot. So the argument you guys brought up about Justin Jefferson is valid when it comes to Kupp, because apparently he has...
It's less valid. Kupp has shown the ability that he's incredibly effective. From the slot.
I'm not sure. Was I included in that Justin Jefferson is trash statement? Because I don't think I supported that one.
You weren't as in it with Alex.
I
just didn't want the Eagles to take him, if that makes any sense.
I've said this consistently. I think he could be a solid fantasy asset at some point. I don't know if it'll happen this year. My main point was that he should not have been drafted in the first round. Where was Cooper Kupp drafted? The third round.
Yeah.
You can get a productive slot receiver outside of the first round. So therefore, I just think it's a stupid wasted assets. Like, oh, well, let's draft one of these guys in the first round when I can take one in the third. You know, what's his name? Tyler Johnson went in the fucking fifth.
And
What?
the whole 12 personnel sets and Kupp struggling playing on the outside, that plays in slightly with my pick of Van Jefferson at 9. I've read reports that Van Jefferson has clean route running, and I've also read that he has similar capabilities as Robert Woods. Now, I've never watched him, so I can't say definitively if this was true or not, but I can see Van Jefferson being a somewhat sneaky pick.
My thing is, you can still use a slot receiver with that personnel, and they're not going to run all of their snaps out of that. So.
Well, it is Cooper Kupp still, so I'm not saying they just stop playing Kupp just to put Jefferson in, but, I mean, Kupp has had injuries, so you never know if he might not play as many snaps. He might be used more limited, but he's still going to get targets. He's still going to get red zone looks. He's still going to be equally as efficient, and that's why I still have him at 2. I think McVay will find a way to get Kupp in his comfort zone. So that's why he's still at 2 for me.
Still going to score.
Obviously, like Alex said, you can still use Kupp in the 12 personnel. Like you can use a slot receiver in 12 personnel. But I mean, obviously, I don't know if they did like looking at like where they put Kupp and whatnot. But opportunities wise, I would say he wasn't included in the slot as much in the second half of the season because I mean his targets cut from 87 to 47, 20. What do you say?
If he still managed, let's say they played 12 personnel 50% of the time, which I think is a lot. Like even if they got him on the field for 10% of those snaps, it's still like 60 something.
This is true, but it limits his ceiling due to the fact that his usage is capped.
Sure, but he's still a hell of a red zone threat. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't think putting him at 4 is necessarily like ridiculous.
This is what I made a spreadsheet detailing all the reasons. Well, I guess just pointing out the different stats and how they fluctuated before and after the bye, like when they increased their 12 usage and whatnot. Between Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, okay? So starting with Cooper Kupp, before the bye, he garnered a target on a route run 32% of the time, okay? That was up there with Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams. Like, he led his team in that category. And it obviously speaks because he was wide receiver 2 in that first part of the year. With yards per route run, he was at 2.88. Which again was up there with one of the top names in the NFL this year with Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, and whatnot. Now jumping to after the bye, we have targets per route run dropped from 32% to 19%. Pretty hefty drop. So it signaled his lack of, I guess you could say, involvement in the offense. Not necessarily usage because he was still out there on the field. His pass routes per game did drop 4 from before the bye and after the bye, while Robert Woods jumped 2. His yards per route run dropped from 2.88 before the bye, Cooper Kupp, 2.88 before the bye to 1.51 after the bye. Again, the lack of efficiency, which I mean, it shows you that obviously I didn't watch every single game. I didn't jot down every single snap that he played in the slot in the 12 personnel and whatnot. But it showed when they used 12 personnel last year, Cooper Kupp didn't play much in the slot. Like they didn't really use a slot receiver that much in 12 personnel, which is why I'm kind of questioning. Like you said, Alex, they can use a slot receiver in 12 personnel, but seeing these numbers, it kind of rings a bell in my head. It's like they're not going to use a slot receiver. Not saying they won't ever, but seeing from last year, speaking from experience. But
I just think that when you're looking at fantasy players, the slot receiver is a position of value given that it's the easiest to exploit a defense with.
Yeah.
Very good slot receiver with a huge history of red zone excellence. So, like, he's going to have a very solid floor at least.
I agree, yeah, because I mean, at the end of after the bye, he finished a wide receiver 16
I will
which I
say,
mean is
compared to Robert Woods' ADP, which is presumably much lower than his, I would probably prefer Woods because I don't know what round you're taking Woods in, but like if he starts catching a few more touchdowns, he could be a low end wide receiver one. So
oh yeah.
in terms of value, I'd probably take Woods, given that you're gonna have to spend a second round pick on Kupp probably, and you might be able to snag Woods in like the fourth or something like that.
I know Kupp's going around the same place as like Amari Cooper, and obviously you guys probably don't really like Amari Cooper, but I would love to take Amari
I
Cooper.
mean, I would take Cooper. I would reluctantly take Cooper because fuck the Cowboys, but like I'm gonna take Amari Cooper.
Fair. And like you said, I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp.
I think you should draft a running back in the first 2 rounds this year. Just take Robert, Calvin Ridley, and like Devontae Parker and Deontay Johnson in the later rounds. It'll be fine.
You know what's sad though? What I just thought about.
Yeah.
So my friends were texting me. Okay, they were talking about like you're giving out these sleepers, and you know you're in these dynasty leagues with us, and you know we're gonna like pounce on them. So, and our viewers, that's all they are. It's just the people that are in the leagues with us and stuff. So it's like literally we're talking to each other and giving out our like tidbits of like strategy and whatnot, and they're just like, "Oh, let me soak that in my brain real quick." Kind of
Let
flex us
them
out there.
do that, and then let them overpay for those guys, and then they think they'll get that same value.
Just know that they're gonna get trashed in one of those leagues, and in the other league, I'm done for them. So.
Another league, nobody's beating you. But hopping back into it, like you said, Cooper Kupp, great red zone threat, and it was evident because I mean, on this might not seem like a lot, but on 2%, what was 1.82% of his routes ran, he got a touchdown. I wish I had route run splits for the red zone because it would look better. But 2.05% of his routes ran in the second half of the year. He got a touchdown on, which is a jump up from the previous 8 weeks. His fantasy points per game jumped down from 21 to 13 points per game after the bye, but I mean he still finished as a wide receiver too. Not saying Cooper Kupp is worse than Robert Woods in fantasy, but I can see Robert Woods finishing above him this year just due to the 12 personnel usage and the increase in that I expect and that I think many people expect.
Christian Kirk time.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's get into it. Christian Kirk.
Everyone got Christian Kirk at 6.
I wish he'd be a little more efficient with his fuck ton of targets that he gets. Good God.
Yeah.
This is true.
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I'm gonna look it up.
I
want that number. I should have wrote it
I
What is
think
it?
Christian Kirk will benefit heavily from DeAndre Hopkins signing.
I truly hope so because I know he's not an alpha receiver. I know he's not.
He's not going to carry a team, and he's also not going to be productive with Larry Fitzgerald. Where is it? Decrepit Larry Fitzgerald across the field.
Look, fantasy points per target, Christian Kirk. 77th in the league. What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Are you kidding me? Look, fantasy points per target, Christian Kirk. 77th in the league. What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Are you kidding me? Brandon, what are you doing? 77th? Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
60th in yards per route run as well, which is also
with the rookie quarterback. Tyler Murray is only his first year
He
in the
won
league.
Rookie of the Year. Fuck you.
not rightfully so either. I don't think he deserved it, but
Y'all are bashing on Deebo Samuel. He was 5th in that metric. 5th. I don't care how many balls he dropped. He was still 5th compared to 77th.
But you know what's static? You know what is static and not static, but sticky, and it's kind of stays the same from year to year?
Not Deebo's hands.
Not efficiency, but targets.
Yeah, which is like if he want, like that's why I have him 6th because if he wants to start doing something with those targets, that'd be fucking great.
And I think he will, honestly, with
he
DeAndre
will.
Hopkins there.
I think he probably will do. Like, he can't do worse.
Can't do worse. 77.
59th in QB ranking. The fuck, man? What the hell are you doing?
How you doing, Christian Kirk? You're making Alex mad, Christian. Perform.
Come on.
I've loved him since college, so I mean, I would love if he performed as well.
I loved him at Texas A&M. Like the other night, I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, I saw they were re-airing a Texas A&M game. I watched it just specifically to watch Christian Kirk. I remember watching this guy in college. He's going to be good. And then Cardinals second round. He's going to be good. And then I drafted him last year in fantasy in the 5th round. promptly traded him for Stephon Diggs, and I forgot about it.
Traded him for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, which was somehow a loss for both of us. Because Diggs came out and fell flat on his face to start the season. Oh, great. Yeah, honestly, my roster at the beginning of that season is absolutely looks nothing like it does now, which I can understand. Still, some shit goes down at Dynasty Leagues. Anyone else want to talk about Christian Kirk?
I just wanted to recognize that.
I'm done on that. I've gotten my anger out.
Yeah, I just think Christian Kirk's gonna just. I think he's gonna do a lot better with DeAndre Hopkins across the field.
Official list.
I think he's a ticking time bomb, and he will break out in due time.
I mean, if he did what he did last year with just Larry Fitzgerald.
Imagine if he bumped his efficiency up to 20. He'd be a wide receiver for one.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got Deebo Samuel.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
You were saying
other side of the spectrum.
how he was.
That's what I thought. You better be talking about that.
Bring up that stat.
I told you, he was 5th in fantasy points per target. My guy. Also, I was telling Brandon before this, when I was doing the read up to this, I like to read off of, Ed, you know, what the SB Nation blogs are?
Yeah.
I like to go to those blogs because, I read on the Eagles ones a lot. And I trust the community's opinion there more than, national writers because that's their team. Yeah. And they described him as, quote, the linchpin of the offense. So I kind of, think it's stupid for Brandon to be like, well, you're just going to phase him out.
I didn't say phase him out.
You literally said he's going to get less opportunities this season.
That's not meaning phased out.
The linchpin of the offense is just going to throw him on the side.
Well,
listen,
first off,
the foot is a problem, and I don't know how much if he's going to miss time. Because originally I had him over Kirk, but the foot injury because this is a redraft, and I don't want to take a guy in a redraft when I don't know if he's going to play the first half of the season, when I could just take someone who is going to play. So, yeah, that's scary. I have him over Ayuk because I've already said on this before, I'm a fan of Ayuk. However, I think Samuel's going to come back and play and is going to provide a boost to your team during the stretch run.
I think he will, too.
I'm willing to put Debo over Ayuk. I'm not going to lie.
I understand why you guys did if you're afraid of the injury because, I have to catch myself sometimes on here that this is a standard ranking because I am only a dynasty league, so I see that. What? No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's why. Yeah, I got to remember, I like Ayuk. I'm a fan. I think Shanahan's going to use him right. And Samuel are going to be a problem.
That offense is a problem.
What I love about that is both of those guys are so fucking dangerous after the catch. And they're going to scheme up some stupid ways to get them the ball, and everyone's going to be really angry about it, including me.
Most of the receivers on that team are pretty dangerous after the catch with Jalen Hurd. You know Jalen Hurd? Sleeper.
Yeah. He just missed the whole year last year?
Yeah, with a back fracture, which, scary. But he was a former running back, like I said, but
Ed is the reason why I have Jalen Hurd even on my list. So.
Yeah, as you'll see there, I just kind of lumped together Hurd, Taylor, and Pettis, along with Butler and Isabella, only because, those guys, you're not really going to roster any of those 5 guys, so I just kind of threw them together there. Because take your pick. If one of them succeeds,
I really
they're
want
worthwhile names.
I want Hakeem Butler to really step in this year. I mean, he was injured last year.
I am doubtful of both him and Jalen Hurd because they're rookies from a year ago that just missed the whole previous season. That's not a great way.
I like Jalen Hurd. I don't like Hakeem Butler. And I like Andy Isabella. Yeah, Andy Isabella.
Last year, though, that's kind of intimidating.
He what?
He just strikes me as one of those guys who's kind of like Tavon Austin. He can run really fast.
He was out there.
He was great last year, but he was used in minimal. He was used very, very minimally.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I would take him over Butler if I had the choice. And between the trio of San Francisco guys, I'd go Hurd just on the intrigue of the unknown, because Dante Pettis is a trash can.
I would go Hurd, Taylor, Pettis for sure.
Pettis is gonna step into that number 2 role this year just to be an asshole. Yeah, I forgot Kendrick Bourne plays there too. I gave him a leg up on the other 3 because I think he proved it.
He was used.
Yeah, I think he earned that distinction last year. I don't think he's going to continue to score a touchdown every fucking time he touches the ball. But hey, if he does, more power to him.
I mean, the thing is, whoever I put Taylor/Bourne just because, I mean, whoever the slot receiver is, which Bourne was last year, seemed to be pretty heavily targeted in the red zone. So, I mean, I would go with whoever starts as the slot receiver, which I'm assuming is Trent Taylor because the team has come out and said multiple things that they love him, that super talented. Oh, they're so excited to have him back, all that stuff. And he's a slot receiver. So, I mean, in the red zone, you can see him get a lot of touches and possibly touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, like, from an outsider's perspective, I would think Bourne would have the leg up on that, but I don't know jack shit about that team. So I just know that I don't like them.
Yeah. And Dante Pettis only succeeded when Nick Mullins, was it? Was it Nick Mullins whenever his quarterback was when he succeeded? Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't really toss the ball that deep. Let's be real.
I hope it's not going to happen. They're going to win 13 games. But it'd be nice if they lost 13.
No, it wouldn't be nice because then we'd have to see Nick Mullins again as quarterback. And I'd rather see Jimmy G as quarterback because it's Jimmy GQ.
I don't like him.
You don't like Jimmy G?
I don't care for him.
Jimmy G doesn't like you.
Good. He got that big-ass contract for nothing.
Hey, man.
He was overpaid the instant they signed that. The very moment that he finished his signature, it was, wow, the contract sucks.
I think it was before they even offered to him. Whenever they thought about that idea, he was like, "Oh my God, he's overpaid."
Popped into whoever's head it was an overpay.
Yeah.
But they had to because that's the way quarterbacks work.
That is quarterbacks, and that was wide receivers, but quarterbacks definitely get overpaid. Running backs get underpaid. It's two ends of the spectrum, kind of like Deebo Samuel and Christian Kirk. Efficiency, not efficient.
Before, because I like to touch on everybody in the list. Apparently, Larry Fitz had a shit ton of targets last year, so maybe he
did.
Maybe he does something again. However, I wouldn't really be that confident. But he did average like 9 some points per game, or 8 something like that. He was serviceable. Maybe he'll have a few more serviceable outings, given that there's more talent around him.
Or maybe he loses a few targets and D-Hop and Christian Kirk kind of take up the 2 main targets.
If they do Hopkins, Fitzgerald, Kirk in the slot, then I would imagine he'll get a few opportunities. But again, he's 9th on the list. So
Kirk was in the slot a little bit last year as well. So
no,
yeah.
Like Fitz and Hopkins on the outside, I would imagine. Although I guess they'll probably rotate everyone in and Reynolds theoretically will play a little more. Theoretically.
I would hope they play him over Cooper Kupp. Whenever it's 12 personnel and it's 2 outside receivers, not slot wide receivers.
Imagine it would either be him or Van Jefferson, who sucks.
Who's better than Cooper Kupp on the outside? That's a bold take. Woo.
Oh. Listen, Cooper Kupp was not good on the outside, obviously. I don't know Van Jefferson. If he was so good, how come he only managed 600 yards in college at 23?
He didn't want to use his body.
Why are you using totals, bro?
Yeah, what do you mean, why am I using totals?
That's a bad measurable, but you do you.
I mean, generally, yes, but like 600? Really?
I mean, 600 is greater than what I had in college.
Yeah, but you're not on the list for me, so I'm not projecting you to be a starting outside receiver for the Rams.
I'm not on the Rams. You're right.
That's kind of the difference there. Yeah, 600 is approximately 600 more yards than I put up in college.
Approximately, not correctly, but
I think he's wildly over. Well, because of his route running. Oh boy, or he can run routes. He can't catch the ball. He doesn't go anywhere with it, but he can run routes. Where was the college production?
I mean, Cooper Kupp struggled on the outside, and he has yak ability, and he has good hands. Who knows what his route running is compared to Van Jefferson's? I mean, Van Jefferson's the polar opposite of him, and Cooper Kupp sucked on the outside. So, I mean, you guys ever see that meme where it's like 4 different brains, and like the last one's like exploding? It goes from like barely lit up to like, that was me.
Rams drafted Van Jefferson. I'm actually pretty sure I just laughed at that in the group chat between us.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. The Rams. It's fucking idiots. Didn't they trade Brandon Cooks for a lower pick? Or was that the pick they traded Cooks for?
For a lower pick. I think it was a lower pick. No. It was that pick. Yeah.
So they traded Brandon Cooks for Van Jefferson.
Even more of a reason to have him way above Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm not going to put him above Reynolds. He did something stupid.
I mean, Van Jefferson's not worse than Reynolds.
Not what?
What? Nothing.
I didn't hear you. So.
No, that's good.
Reynolds.
If you said he's worse than, if you said he's better than Reynolds, like that's that's not really a huge statement given that Josh Reynolds has done fuck all in the NFL.
I mean, he did look pretty well 2 years ago.
Enough
the
about
preseason, or-
this shit.
No, 2 years ago in the NFL season, the regular season.
Good for him. I'm with Brandon here. Fuck
Yeah,
Going
fuck.
back and forth about Josh Reynolds.
I mean, it's better than talking about DeAndre Hopkins, who we know is a stud.
But is it better than?
Yeah, I mean, I can get more emotion out of slamming the Rams for taking Van Jefferson than I can.
Is it better than question time?
It's not.
Like a bird. I feel like a bird. You have a question, Bihar?
I don't got a question, but I know Ed does.
He knows I do, but I know I don't. So Alex, I know you do. Alex is looking for the little bird that's back there. Let me grab the bird. Oh, here's a question. Ready for it?
Yeah, the birds always have questions.
Turkey bacon or regular bacon, says the bird.
What kind of question is that?
Get that bird out of here. We don't want that one.
You're talking to someone who thinks that regular bacon is overrated. However, turkey bacon, I like turkey bacon.
I love turkey bacon. A1 steak sauce. Boom. The turkey bacon is it. It's better than bacon.
It's better than what?
Regular bacon. Regular bacon is just pointless. Why are you eating it? You may as well just be eating a pool of grease.
I only like bacon if it's like burnt.
That's just false.
That's just bad.
Like legit like crunch. I don't want none of that floppy bacon
Last night
shit.
I ate some hamburgers that I wrapped in bacon and then baked. If you had substituted that regular bacon with turkey bacon, the outcome would have been worse.
Okay, is it just me or
Well, that's just what?
is it just me or seeing things wrapped in bacon looks way better than what it actually tastes?
You do it right. It tastes fantastic.
I mean, I feel like that's just not good for your heart.
Your heart will be fine.
He doesn't care. He doesn't like sugars, but he doesn't care about his heart. We got Alex Miller in the building.
Yeah, I'm 20, so besides, the point of a keto diet is to high fat, no carbs. Hence the reason you cut out the sugar.
This is fair.
So then it burns all the fat in my stomach, and I lose a little more weight, which is good for you. I'm not eating bacon by the spoonful.
Good for you.
I don't just wake up and be like, I'm just gonna take a quarter pound of grease and
Chug it.
right out.
That shit's
Imagine that.
gross.
That would
You'd be eating it if it's setting out. Yeah, you're
well,
not
no, you'd have to
drinking it.
heat it up.
You're heating it up.
I would put it in the microwave. Yeah.
You're not eating it.
You're not like refrigerating it for a couple weeks and then putting it in your cup when you go to work and just drinking it.
Rub it on the toast.
No, I can't. Break carbs.
You're in a pickle, Alex.
You're in a pickle.
Drink it. I'm gonna put it in a coffee mug, microwave it. Not to the point that it's boiling, but just the point that I can drink it.
I'm confused as to what we're talking about. Like, what are we putting in the cup?
How do you
Bacon
eat
grease, or just any grease.
grease?
Oh, okay.
Microwave it, drink it, obviously.
Is that just like pure fat?
I guess.
Crisco? You're just putting Crisco in a cup?
I mean, grease is not. But I mean, essentially, when you cook bacon, the fat will burn off. And a lot of that grease is just fat, and you would want to microwave it so that you don't have to eat it with a spoon. That would be disgusting.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Just like I hope all the viewers enjoyed this video.
Oh.
And with that, we got Alex, Ed, and Brandon. It's First Choice Fantasy. Signing out.
We'll be back next week.